Okay, so basically Europe went to war against Russia only to acquire LNG at a higher price and with a longer transit time. This should be quoted as the definition of stupidity till the end of time. We will tell you all about it, but before that, if you're a fan of non-corporate funded free news and analysis, you've landed on the right YouTube channel. Okay, let's begin. The European Union's approach to the Nord Stream pipeline incidents had sparked a robust debate, raising questions about the geopolitical and economic ramifications for the region. The destruction of these pipelines, crucial for transporting natural gas from Russia to the European Union, led to a cascade of accusations and conjecture, significantly influencing the EU's economic landscape. Initially, the mainstream narrative quickly pointed fingers at Russia, accusing it of sabotaging its infrastructure. Russia had invested heavily in the Nord Stream pipelines for over a decade, making the allegations of self-sabotage seem implausible. Reports from at least 23 officials across 9 countries indicated a lack of evidence linking Russia to the sabotage. This development prompted a re-evaluation of the situation, casting doubt on the initial accusations and suggesting the involvement of other actors. The narrative surrounding the incident took a turn as attention shifted to other possible perpetrators. Among the theories floated was the involvement of a pro-Ukrainian group, a proposition met with skepticism due to the logistical and strategic challenge such an operation would entail. Furthermore, the suggestion that the United States might have a motive, given its subsequent economic gains from increased LNG shipments to the EU, added another layer of complexity to the unfolding story. And this angle was supported by none other than the Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Seymour Hersh. This situation has had profound implications for the EU, not least of which is its energy strategy. Despite existing sanctions and the contentious atmosphere, the EU is expected to import a record volume of LNG from Russia. This development is particularly noteworthy given the significant increase in US LNG shipments to the EU, which for the first time exceeded those from Russia. In essence, the Nord Stream pipeline incidents have not only disrupted EU-Russia energy relations, but also highlighted the complex web of geopolitical interests influencing the region's energy security and economic policies. The dynamics of natural gas supply to the European Union have undergone significant transformations, prompting discussions among Brussels bureaucrats and beyond about the implications of these changes. Notably, concerns have been raised regarding the perception of Washington DC's profiteering amid these shifts. Despite these circumstances, the EU's demand for natural gas remains unabated, necessitating increased imports of liquefied natural gas from Russia. Recent reports, including one by Charles Kennedy for oilprice.com, highlight an intriguing development. Russian LNG exports to the EU have witnessed a modest increase of over 4% in the first quarter of the year. This uptick is attributed to Russia's strategic adjustment in response to sanctions affecting its pipeline gas exports. Citing data from Kpler and referencing the Russian newspaper Kommersant, Kennedy notes a significant 4.3% rise in Russian LNG exports to the EU, totaling 8.7 million metric tons. This shift in export dynamics underscores the EU's growing reliance on Russian LNG, even as geopolitical tensions influence traditional pipeline gas supplies. The primary sources of this LNG are Russia's Yamal LNG and Sakhalin energy projects, which have also seen notable corporate maneuvers, including the sale of Shell's minority stake in Sakhalin project to Gazprom for $1 billion. Kennedy's analysis further reveals that the EU has emerged as the largest consumer of Russian LNG, accounting for half of Russia's LNG exports this year, with China following at 21%. The surge in imports, especially through Western EU ports, marks a significant transition from pipeline-delivered natural gas to LNG, despite the latter's higher costs and logistical complexities. The EU's strategy, as reported by sources including Reuters, illustrates a pivot towards securing LNG primarily from Russia to nations like Spain, Belgium, and France. This shift raises questions about the economic rationale behind preferring ship-borne LNG over pipeline gas, given the former's higher expenses and longer transit times. So basically, Europe went to war against Russia only to acquire LNG at a higher price and with a longer transit time. Just like Europe, the West media is also going back to square one after months of calling Russian military inferior. In fact, they have started calling out the US for its shoddy weapons. Watch this report to believe.